You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Today on Your Loose Women Live, it's Ruth Langsford, Colleen Nolan, Janet Street-Porter and Brenda Edwards.
Thank you very, very much. Hello, welcome to the show. Welcome to our wonderful studio audience. Lovely to have you here. You're all yes, woo! You're all very welcome. Now, no Monday blues around here today because we have got all this and more for you. Fresh from her first night on the Strictly dance floor, we will be catching up with our Kay. Didn't she do well?
Yeah.
Look at her.
Amazing.
Amazing. Talking to Kay at 12:45. Also joining us, silent witness actress Amelia Fox is here too. She'll be telling us all about investigating real-life crime and telling us why finding love in her 40s has been life-changing. And a speculation mounts over a rumoured feud between actress Nicola Peltz and her mother-in-law, Victoria Beckham. Don't miss Janet's advice for dealing with a mother-in-law who just won't cut the apron soon. Can you imagine that? Can you? That's all I'm saying. Okay, so I said no Monday blues here at the start of the show today, but there is something about Mondays that we were discussing this morning because we haven't been on a Monday for a while, us four. And I said, oh, no, yeah, it's great, it's all back. And I said, there is something about Monday that on a Sunday, even though I'm grown up, I still get that slight back to school feeling. You know, like suddenly Sunday afternoon, I go, oh.
You got good memory.
That's what
No.
And they say I'm the evil.
Yeah, exactly. No, but you know that thing of like, oh, I've got to get my thing ready and read my things and get ready.
It's very strange. I don't get Monday blues, I get Sunday blues because obviously I have to come down on a Sunday because I live in Cheshire. So it kind of just, even though I get a later train on a Sunday, like late afternoon, from the time I get up on Sunday, it's all aimed at getting on that train. So Sunday's
like this,
ruined.
Yeah.
And Sunday to me, it's kind of like that. No, you can't interfere with the weekend. It's Sunday when everyone's going out for lunch or making lunch or it's family time and all that, and I'm there getting ready. Because when I used to do Tuesdays and Wednesdays and I'd come in on a Monday, that was fine because that was part of work.
Working day.
It was work.
Yeah.
So, but once I'm here, I don't have the blues like today. I don't have Monday blues. It's Sunday blues with me.
I used to have Sunday blues because it was the day when I used to do all my bookkeeping and collect all my receipts, and you'd sit at the kitchen table and think, oh, did I really buy that? Oh no, blah blah blah. And so I found Sunday nights really, really depressing. And I always said on this show I'd never work on Monday. But they've persuaded me. And you know the main reason why I like working on Monday, apart from being with you three, which I adore, is on Monday morning, my bags under my eyes are the smallest they're going to be all week because I didn't go out last night. I had an early night. But they look shocking by Thursday. So I think you're ever
There's a plus. That's a plus about Mondays. Do you like
I
Mondays,
love Mondays. I love every day, as you know. But Mondays is the day that I think it's... come on, Grumpy.
It's because they
but it's a positivity thing for me. And it's like you start the Monday, you want to start it off as you mean to continue for the rest of the week. So I start off positive and then hopefully it will continue. And, you know, that's how I like to apply. And as you were saying with the school uniform, sometimes I'd start on a Monday, got the tie, got the jacket, got everything. By the Wednesday, the jumper's round the corner. You know, by the Friday, the socks falling down. But, you know, I think it's a good reset Monday. And if you're starting any exercise...
Is there anything like
I know what
music
you're
or
gonna say.
TV
I know
show
what that's what I was
that
just
makes you
gonna
go,
say.
oh, that reminds me of being little when you go, that's bedtime then?
Yes, and I still cannot stand the theme tune to it because when I was little, when this played, my mum would go, Colleen, it's bedtime, and it was Coronation Street. Still get that feeling in my stomach. As soon as I'd hear it, I used to run and hide, like behind the couch, or I'd run out the back garden or something. And even now, when I hear it, I get that.
Yeah, we had Sunday night at the London Palladium. The minute they got on the rotating thing, my dad would go, upstairs.
We've all got those. Let us know what yours is. And so we're talking there about going to bed. What about getting up? How would you feel if this was the sound that woke you up every morning?
7 of them.
Cock-a-doodle-do or cock-a-doodle don't, actually. This is the headline in one of the papers today. Now, a cockerel owner has agreed to remove her 7 cockerels. 7. She's been given a noise complaints from neighbours, and then she's been given a noise abatement notice from the council. You know, they're all God's creatures, etc., etc. But is that how you would want to be woken up in the morning, Brenda, by 7 of those outside your
I've
window?
actually had that because, again, you know, I was on tour with Hairspray, and I rented a lovely apartment that had, you know, this, that, and I didn't realise, we got there in the night, didn't realise it was attached to a farm, and I was woken up. And it was, you know...
That's very good.
What's that?
That's my cock-a-doodle-doo.
You sound like Coyote.
Sounded soprano.
But, you know, no, but it literally, I'm quite a heavy sleeper, and it takes a lot. But the piercing of it absolutely woke me up. But what I did, I got up because I was so upset. I got up and I went, and I'm having a conversation with it and trying to mimic it to make it stop doing the noise. And for a brief minute in my head, I know it'll be in my head, it did work.
I'm not surprised. I could imagine, actually, that cockerel, couldn't you? Suddenly go,
What was that? And mine was louder.
anything irritating waking you up in the morning, Brenda?
Everything.
Well, 2 things wake me up at night. The dog dreaming. Do you know that thing? You're in the middle of your sleep, having a really lovely dream. You know, I'm at a party with loads of famous people and getting into the VIP area without any queuing. And then I get this noise in my ear, which is... and the dog's lying in
That's worse than your cockerel.
No. The dog's having a nightmare.
Oh,
And the other thing
poor
is...
badger.
Poor old badger. That's the
It's
dog.
poor badger. He shouldn't sleep with a badger. The dog sleeps with a badger.
Yeah, well, he can't sleep on the bed. But the other noise, where I live in Norfolk, is barn owls, and it's really exciting. I've got they're protected, and I've got this owl box on the tree right outside my bedroom window, where the mother has had 4 babies, and here they are in their box. But they make the most noise all night, crying for food, and that mother, she's on the job getting them all right. All night.
Busy. How many? I mean,
No, it's whining. No,
Colleen obviously has
no.
a petting zoo, don't you? So what wakes you up?
Oh, the dog's barking. Yeah, especially the one I've just rescued, the street dog, Philly. She just loves to bark. Yeah.
And then they all bark.
Dogs barking or the boxer breaking wind. That wakes me up. Shocking.
So my dog's
Absolutely
screaming and yours is just farting.
Yeah.
I like to say I sleep like a log. I sleep through it all.
Wake up in the fireplace.
Good. That's why she's here.
The only reason.
Now, talking of dogs, see what I did there?
Don't show off.
Yeah, talking of dogs. Yeah, but have you heard? Sylvester Stallone's wife, they've been married 25 years, okay, was in the process of divorcing him. Apparently, they're reconciled now. Apparently, one of the problems in their marriage was that they fell out over their dog, okay? And in fact, Sly, when they fell out, he had a tattoo of his wife on his arm. He covered it up with the tattoo of the dog. Yeah. So apparently they have since reconciled. So that's lovely. But we did start thinking, do you and your partner fall out over pets? Like, do you fall out over Badger ever?
Badger is Peter's dog, but I have a very good relationship with Badger as long as there's no food and no extra people in the house. And on Bank Holiday Monday, I went to the seaside with my friend Glenn, and we ordered fish and chips, and everybody around us has got dogs behaving quite normally, and our dog gets on my lap and tries to get on the table and eat the fish and chips straight out of the box.
Oh, I love Badger. Look at him.
Yes, he's got so
gorgeous.
rude. No, but we have a huge rows over that dog's no manners whatsoever.
Do you
Well, no, I've got a dog behaviourist that's coming now.
Have you?
Yeah, because I've got so many
How's
dogs.
it going for you?
It's going. Honestly, I'm learning every day. Every day.
Quite well behaved.
And I've realised I will do anything for a treat.
Colleen, you you've got so many dogs, what are you doing? Running a mountain rescue centre or something?
Well, Philly, who I adopted from Macedonia, as you know, she's the one that he's working. Oh, look at her. She's the one that's working on at the moment because she's just got to fit into the pattern. But I've never fallen out. However, when I was married to Ray and it had come to an end and he just wouldn't leave at one point, and I know he's allergic to cats, so I had 4 cats. And he left, so
Brenda's
it worked.
got cats.
I've got cats
dogs,
on my daughter's.
You can do, training and things. You can't really train a cat.
Guys, I keep saying to you, you can train cats too, and I train my cats. And, my cat, I've got Tanya and Temper. And Temper, because when I saw them, I wanted to pass out. And I bought them instead. But Temper is very well behaved. She'll do everything that I say. Tiny is a bit more of her own mind, which cats are. And if she tries to go up on the side where food is being prepped, I'm not having that. Don't get up there. Then this is what I tell her. She doesn't go up.
You just
Tiny, do not go up there.
Nervous?
Don't argue with me either. Are you going to get down?
I know, and it wasn't me
Tiny.
about that.
Tiny,
I mean, maybe I'm a bit.
are you going to get down?
Giving
She
you the
did-
look.
she- The point of the object was not to have her up there. She didn't go up there. Did you see her go up? Exactly.
Do
I
an
rest my
impression of a
case.
cat now. You've done the birds.
I rest my case.
I think on that note, we'll go to the break, shall we? Still to come, we're asking careers for kids or the boardroom for babies. That's our big debate after 1 o'clock. And she did us proud at the weekend on Strictly. We'll be catching up with Kay right after this. Hello, welcome back to Lucy. It's lovely to have you with us this afternoon. Now, global superstar Stormzy has released the video for his new single, Mel Made Me Do It. And guess who the video features? Only our very own Brenda. Yes. I mean, amazing. How did this all happen?
Well, obviously, since Jamal's passed, Stormzy, Mike, he's been really, really supportive of myself and Tanisha. And we've met on a few occasions. And he was at Jamal's birthday party that we had. And he got in touch and asked if me and Tanisha would like to play a cameo in the role with Jamal. And so we all went, and it was talking about self-belief. And it was an incredible video to be a part of, with so many different pioneers that are from the community, and just showing that if we come together, we can form something quite special and amazing and powerful. And it was just an overwhelming day.
Well done.
Fantastic. I look forward to seeing the whole thing, because I haven't seen the whole thing.
It's 10 minutes
yet.
long and it's wonderful.
Thank you, Brenda. That's fantastic. OK, stand by now for some big news. Yes, it is time for the biggest competition of the year. Of the year, it's huge. Andy Peters is standing by with all the details. It's all very exciting, Andy.
Huge as well. Yeah, it's very exciting. A massive £500,000 up for grabs. Now, I don't take this lightly. Look at the big numbers here. 500000. That is £500,000, which is guaranteed to go to one lucky winner. We launched it on the television today. I'm at Winners HQ. This is where ITV keeps the money before they give it to you. Charlotte, you're one of the people that gets to call the winners. What's been one of the funniest or nicest stories that's happened to you when you've called a winner?
We actually had one winner who was so happy. She actually said she was going to name her baby after my colleague that called her.
No, that colleague wasn't me, was it?
Sadly not. It's called Rosie.
OK, well, look, there we go. Happy story, a happy ending. You could be really happy with this £500,000 in the bank and a little extra prize too. And don't forget, if you enter this week, you'll also be in with a chance of winning our bonus prize, an MG car worth over £32,000. Text cash to 82248. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Or go to the website. Entries cost £2. You can call 09068 78 2248. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to Car39, PO Box 7558, Derby, DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on Friday, the 4th of November. Make sure you enter before 4 p.m. on Friday, the 30th of September for your chance to win the car. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Andy. Yes, good luck. What an amazing competition that is, isn't it? Fantastic. Yes, woo indeed. Okay, so Saturday night, did you see it? It was the opening night for RK. She took to the Strictly dance floor for the very first time.
This routine, I was like, oh my God, the control, the composure, just standing there looking so elegant.
The line was beautiful. You got a lovely line. Your arm line is immaculate.
You picked it up, you carried on. So you dust it off and you come back next week and you get it right.
Wasn't she fantastic? She was fantastic, and we're delighted to say she's back at work already because they don't give you any rest. Hello, Kay. What are you hiding behind
that's
your
the first.
Stop. What do you need? Why are you doing that? You were brilliant.
I'm blushing.
You
Look at me, I'm blushing.
Oh. Listen, we loved it. We did love it. We were all saying this morning, like, was that Kay?
Yeah.
Like, the dress, the thing, the attitude, the sass. But how was it for you? Because it's easy, we know, watching from home. How did you actually find it?
Well, this is the first time I've seen it, which is why I'm reacting like this. Because, you know, I know people say out of my comfort zone very lightly, but boy, you know me, girls, that was so far out of my comfort zone, it was unbelievable. But I mean, as you know, Ruth, there just comes a moment you either lock yourself in the bathroom or you get out there and do it. And it's almost as simple as that. But oh my God, there's so many conflicting thoughts going through your head, you know, when you're actually. And you told me about it. We had a lovely chat when I just signed up, and I was walking my dog. I was in the park. I remember we had chatted for ages, and you were telling me it all. And I was taking it in and taking it in. But it's not until you've experienced it that, I mean, you think, that's what Ruth was talking about, you know.
Yeah,
oh,
the
God.
nerves and stuff. But the thing is, Kay, you looked fantastic. What a figure and what legs you've got. Who knew?
Amazing.
But can I just say, you were so good, and you're always putting yourself down. And I know you don't think you're sexy and all of those things, but you really are. And I want you to believe it. You were so good.
I watched it. You were unrecognisable from the Kay that I sit here with. I mean, 100% props to you. You did brilliantly. What part of your body is aching the most now?
My brain. Yeah, it is actually my brain. Well, I've got a wee groin strain, but you don't really want to hear about that. That's TMI. Do you like the lashes, by the way? Not just any lashes.
She'll have them on
strictly
for months.
lashes.
She'll have those on for months now, yeah.
She never takes them off.
But I mean, well, I'm not going to go on about age, but it is, if you've never ever danced before, and I have never ever danced before, it is trying to make your body respond to these messages from your brain that it's just not used to. I mean, like I've never been sending these messages. You know, I can talk, but I've never been able to actually coordinate movement particularly. I mean, I was famous in my aerobics class for grapevining in the opposite direction from everybody else. So actually having to concentrate on putting your heel down first rather than your toe, the counts, the position of your neck is out like this, and doing all of that. You know, all of these things on top of the steps. It is a mental challenge, I would say, more than anything else. And then you've got the emotional challenge on the top of it, which is, do I look like a 59-year-old sack of potatoes? Which was going through my head.
Not at all.
Well, Kay, as everybody has said, and I echo, you looked a vision in that red dress. Absolutely beautiful. I want to know how it's going with Kai. And is he managing to bring that sexy out of you that you so wanted to do?
Well, he honestly, he is the most brilliant teacher. He absolutely, I guess you would expect me to say this, but I say it with such sincerity. He is such a mature guy. He's 27, but obviously he's been working more or less as a professional since he was 10 years of age. He is so patient and such a great teacher. And, you know, the really good thing about it, because to be honest, I was a bit awkward. I'm thinking, oh my God, this poor boy's 27. What is he going to think? But he's just so professional. And it is about teaching you this skill that he, you know, has taken to a world-class level. And, you know, when you start to see it like that, then, you know, you can really just focus on it and have the privilege of learning from somebody who's just so wonderful, you know, and that side of it is amazing. I would happily sit in this training room for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's when I have to come out on a Saturday night. That's when we get the problem.
I remember saying that to you, Kay. I said, actually, all the week I was fine. I was loving life. Just me and Anton learned to dance. It's like, yeah, you forget. It's like, then you have to go out and perform this live in front of millions of people. But listen, we're so proud of you. And we know, you know, we know that's out of your comfort zone. But seriously, you looked the biz.
Yeah.
Well done. Also, Kay, just to say, I think Kai is here on Thursday, isn't he? Is that with you?
He is. Yes. I'm introducing him, but I need him back. Okay, so Colleen, I hope Colleen's not on because I'll never get him back.
I will be now.
Get off to practice now. Go on, off you go. You've got work to do.
Bye, girls.
Bye.
Thank you.
Know where I'm going to be Thursday.
You know where you're going to be Thursday. Exactly. The man's not saying. Okay, coming up next, 2 showbiz dilemmas for you. Rumours of a Beckham family rift. How do you deal with a mother-in-law who just won't let go? And as Love Island's Molly May reveals that she's pregnant, should having kids come before a career? We'll get all of our thoughts on those topics right after this. Welcome back to Monday's Loose Women, and starting the week and getting loose and lively all the way through to 1:30 with me, Ruth Langsford. It is Colleen Nolan, Janet Street Porter and Brenda Edwards. So coming up, Love Island's Molly May is pregnant at just 23. So we're asking, what should come first, babies or careers? And she has swapped fictional crime for true life crime. Actress Emilia Fox will be taking us to Murder Town. She's live in the studio today. First, we're talking in-laws. Okay, so rumours of a bit of a rift between actress Nicola Peltz and her mother-in-law, who is Victoria Beckham, are intensifying. Now, the Beckhams went on a family trip this weekend, but son Brooklyn... Oh, my earring just fell off. It's live telly, doesn't it? We'll take the other one out.
Or cheap earrings.
Or cheap earrings. Yeah, definitely cheap earrings.
Which came first?
Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. So the Beckhams all went out on a family trip, but Brooklyn and his new wife, Nicola, away. Okay, they're in Paris, apparently. And we're talking about that saying. You know that saying, a daughter's a daughter for all of her life, but a son is a son till he takes a wife. Oh, you know that one.
Oh, we know.
So, but the whole in-laws thing, Janet, is a bit of a minefield. And you've had like 24 marriages now.
I'm a bit of an expert.
You've had a
on
lot of mother-in-laws.
Yes, I am. I have had a few mother-in-laws. Mother-in-law number one, well, what they all had in common is you're simply not good enough for their son because they've worshipped their son, especially if it's the only son, he's perfect, and then you enter the scenario. And in my case, well, mother-in-law number one thought I was really, really common. And then I discovered that she was a coal miner's daughter who'd airbrushed that out of her past, adopted a very posh accent, and was a bit of a phony. Mother-in-law number two was an academic. She was very brainy. My husband was her only son. She was absolutely devoted to him. We got on really badly. Nothing I could do was good enough for her. Misery from start to finish. All right, luckily we were only married a couple of years, so I didn't have to put up with her for long. But when she died, I went to her memorial service as a courtesy, and I was astonished to hear one of my former husband's friends stand up and give an address which said, Catherine was devoted to her son, and a particularly low moment in his life was when he married Janet Street Porter. But luckily it didn't last. That was in the memorial.
A low point in her life, though.
Yeah.
You say. Oh.
Because I took away her son and I was, again, not good enough.
Wow.
Husband number 3... I mean, how long have you got? Husband number 3 was much older than me. His mother was in...
Well, we're still on air tomorrow.
Right. His mother lived in Canada. He had to tell her over the phone we'd got married. Her first question was, is she a Catholic? No, I failed at the first bounce. And have you stopped smoking to him? Well, obviously he was still smoking. When we went to visit her, she's completely ignored me, and she ate her meals on a different table in the kitchen. So,
well, we could do a whole show on this.
Yeah.
But you are now a mother-in-law, aren't you?
I ain't got time to talk about it, Ruth.
Love light in your house.
No, I mean, yes, luckily. I get on brilliant with my daughter-in-law. But of course, for both of us, there has been moments because you've nurtured this boy from birth, and he's only just got married and he's 33. And then they were living with me at the time before the wedding as well. So I know that there's things that, Maddie would have been going, well, she did. She'd go, that's your fault. Every time he wouldn't do something, she'd go, that's your fault.
Oh.
And then she'd do things and I'd go, he doesn't like that. And but it became a joke between us, and we were able to talk about it. We do get on well.
Maybe actually because they were living with you, you had to kind of iron it out. Where if they lived somewhere else and you didn't see her very often, you have that irritation and you don't have time to discuss it or sort it out, really, do you?
Yeah, well, I mean, they've got their own place now, and Maddie invites us around for dinner, and it's actually better because I just go around and have dinner and leave.
Yeah. You don't take a duster or anything when you go?
I don't even dust my own house. I'm not going to go around and dust theirs.
But I like to say I'm a really lovely mother-in-law. As long as they abide by the house rules, it's fine.
It's like the cats.
No, I got a lovely son-in-law and he's wonderful, and I couldn't wish for anybody nicer for my daughter. And if it was me, I find out what my mother-in-law interest would be, and I would shower her with those lovely things and make sure we get on.
So you'd ingratiate yourself with the mother.
I'll try.
Yeah, it's important to me.
I would definitely.
I would, Maddie. I would definitely ingratiate yourself.
Definitely, Maddie. If you're watching, she likes
chocolate. Try to be nice.
Yeah.
Biscuits, whatever.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, now we've got some lovely happy news today. Love Island star Molly Mayhew and her partner Tommy Fury have revealed that they're expecting their first child together. Isn't that lovely?
It's so nice.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
lovely.
them too.
Molly Mayhew, she's only 23 actually, and she's already creative director of a fashion brand. So we were talking this morning saying, she's young, obviously. Do you think it's better to have if you can choose, to have your children a baby before your career, or maybe wait and have your career and then have your children?
Yeah, I mean, I was 23 when I had both of my children, and I think that it's really great what they've both achieved at such a young age. The only, it's a mental, emotional thing. If you're mentally ready for it, then you should. I don't think there should be a time put on it.
But now, when you hear yourself saying, I was 23, does now that seem very young?
Yeah, but I quite liked the fact that I had my children so young because, as I've said, I like to think that I'm still young in mind, and this is the time now they're grown up, they're their own people, and they do their thing, and I do my thing. If we want to come together, we come together, and it's really nice to be able to enjoy that together. So,
but what about going back to work, Brenda?
I went back to work. I went back to work with both of my children, and that's when I had the mum guilt. When Jamal was 6 months, I went back to work because I had to, because I was a single mother, and the same thing with Tanisha. It was important to me to have that work and life balance. As I got older, I got the mum guilt because I wanted to be there more for them. But you have to do what you've got to do.
It's quite hard to juggle. I mean, you had yours young, and you were still in the band, obviously, and working. So how did you
touring and all that
fit that?
Yeah, I think for anyone that's self-employed, you have to get back to work, whatever your job is. If you're self-employed, you have to get back to work. But you just manage it, and hopefully, and especially if you've got a good support network around you, like family, friends, and whoever. But yeah, it is hard. You have the mum guilt and all of that. But I enjoyed being a young mum, and I love it now at this age. But equally, I had Kira then when I was 36, and I think I was a better mum when I had Kira.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and not just because I'd had two before, but I was just in a better place emotionally, I think, and maturity-wise, I think I was a better
Yeah, it's interesting though, Janet, isn't it? Because when we talk about this, it's always like women trying to juggle.
Yeah, well,
women
let's
going,
consider the
what about the
50% of that
father?
child,
Yeah.
which is the man's role in all of this. Because in spite of companies offering more paternity leave, and today NatWest has told its male bankers they can take a full year off when they become a father. Isn't that incredible?
Isn't it?
The bank will allow all new parents to take up to a year off, regardless of their gender, of which half will be fully paid. And I'm all for men being encouraged more to take up 50% of the childcare responsibilities. Because at the moment...
You're saying, yes, you're all agreeing with that.
Yeah, because at the moment, women take up 75% of childcare responsibilities. Now, at the moment, there's a lot of talk about men in this country losing, young men in particular, losing their sense of direction. They're seeing women overtake them academically, women increasingly doing really well in the workplace and taking managerial jobs. Now, I say back in my day, to get those jobs, women had to stop having children until they were secure in their position at work and earned enough to pay for the childcare, or, like me, think career before kids. And it's as simple as that. These days, what I would say to men is please take responsibility for your child and don't let your partner or the mother of your child shoulder all the burden. And interestingly, Jay Blades of the repair shop was on Desert Island Discs yesterday saying he can only call his father the man that contributed to my birth, because that man disappeared when Jay was very, very young.
I'm sorry, I just have to add something. Generationally for me, I have men in my family who have been very responsible for their children, for work, for cooking, for baking, and I'm proud of that fact. And I'm also, I've got somebody in my life that is doing exactly the same thing, 50-50. He's there with food, everything, picking them up from school, teaching. Yeah. So,
we're not saying that all men don't, but some men would like to but can't because they've got to work.
Jay said on Desert Island Discs, if you don't see something, you don't know how to do it. So what I'm saying is children need role models, and that includes both parents.
Yeah, thank you, Janet. We've got to take a quick break now. Coming up next, actress Emilia Fox will be here telling us why she's investigating some of the most shocking true crimes in modern history, and she'll be filling us in on the latest goings-on in her own life. Talking to Emilia right after this. Welcome back to Loose Women. Now, we're going to be talking to Emilia Fox, there she is, in just a moment, about turning real-life detective for her new show. It's very interesting. First, it's time for the biggest competition of the year. And Andy Peters... Oh, no, it's not, no. Yeah, Andy Peters. Andy Peters is standing... I'm so excited, I can't wait to get to Andy. Standing by with all the details. All right, Andy.
Andy Peters. You're so excited, Ruth. Andy Peters, he's here. Yes. They brought in the big guns because this prize is massive. That big. £500,000 is up for grabs. Can you imagine having £500,000 in your bank account? I'm at Winners HQ. This is the part of ITV where they deal with all the money and all of the winnings. Hayley, you're one of the team who work here. So tell me, this competition is supersized, isn't it?
It is. So we're also doing a bonus prize draw where you could win an MG car worth over £32,000.
Do you know what colour the car comes in?
It's Battersea Blue.
Oh, yes, the car is Battersea Blue. You could get that car. You're in that draw to get that car, as well as entering to win that £500,000 prize. That is why we have supersized it with that bonus prize. Now, remember, if you definitely want to be with a chance of winning the car, you've got to enter this week. But remember, that entry is in. The £500,000 entry is in as well. You could be a £500,000, and here's how. And don't forget, if you enter this week, you'll also be in with a chance of winning our bonus prize, an MG car worth over £32,000. Text cash to 82248. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message, or go to the website. Entries cost £2. You can call 09068 78 2248. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. or post your name and phone number to Car39, PO Box 7558, Derby, DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on Friday the 4th of November. Make sure you enter before 4 p.m. on Friday the 30th of September for your chance to win the car. Good luck. Just imagine having £500,000 in your bank account. It's guaranteed to happen for somebody. Look, this office life is really good. Pull up a chair. Pow! I'm in with the girls here. Ladies, back to you, Ruth. Ruth Langsford. Ruth Langsford.
Andy Peters. Very good.
That was smooth.
I'd like to know how many times you practiced that.
Yeah.
OK, now, when she's not investigating crimes on screen in Silent Witness, actress Amelia Fox is also doing it off-screen in her very own documentary series. It's called Murder Town, and this series is set to be the most shocking yet.
Karen Buckley was a 24-year-old student studying for a postgraduate degree in occupational therapy at Caledonia University in Glasgow. On April the 11th, 2015, she went out with friends to the Sanctuary nightclub in the city's West End. It was a night out that she wouldn't return from.
On the night of the 11th of April, Karen arrived at the Sanctuary nightclub around 11:45. A couple of hours later, around 1 o'clock in the morning, she told her friend she was going to the toilet. She left her jacket there, but she never ever came back again.
Oh, very difficult. Amelia Fox is with us, everybody. Good to see you. Welcome, as always. So this is different. Obviously, we've seen you in Silent Witness doing fictional crime and detective work, essentially. But when it's real life and you're meeting the families of people who've been murdered, it must be quite difficult for you, because then you're reliving that with the families.
Well, I think the people that it's most difficult for are the people who've been affected by the crimes themselves, the families, friends. And yes, there is a huge difference between working on Silent Witness and solving fictional crime and, you know, playing a character. And really my role in presenting Murder Town is to be the narrative voice who explains what has happened to the victims, who they were, what happened to them, and to take you to the places where these violent crimes have happened, but also to highlight the very good and dedicated work of, you know, the people who have worked on the cases, the police, the detectives, and who have brought the perpetrators to justice.
I'm such a fan of it, by the way. I love all real crime stuff, and this one's brilliant. But also, I love the way you talk to all the people that worked on it, but also you talk to people like psychiatrists, and it kind of explains more why that person may have been like that. And it's just so interesting across the board because it takes you through the whole thing. But do some of it, because some of the sentencing on some of them is so frustrating. Do you ever get angry? Like, how could they have got away with that, or such?
Absolutely. And how did they get away with it for so long?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the crimes, you know, 20, 30 years later, you know, people are still searching for justice for the victims and their families, but the show always does get the perpetrator, and the perpetrator is imprisoned. In fact, in one of the cases, the perpetrator is now being released. That's frustrating, but it does highlight the very good work that the investigators do for the purpose, you know, of justice for the families.
So have all the cases that you talk about in the series been solved?
Yes, they have, yes.
So by going over them again, do you hope to, like in the case you've just shown us there of the girl that disappeared, do you think there's any, obviously crime is amazingly popular with women. I mean, women are the biggest audience for these kind of programs. Do you think that we learn any lessons from watching what you do?
I don't understand why women have more of an interest in it than men. I really don't know. And I think there are two separate things. One is with fictional crime. I can only talk about it from, you know, being interested in it myself. But with fictional crime, you know, there's a sort of you want to solve the mystery alongside the people who are solving it on television, and it's from the safety of your sofa. But I think with real crime, there is something about a human instinct of wanting to see justice done and wanting to see good win out over evil. And I think that is, Murder Town has a very victim-led narrative, and the purpose is so that the victims aren't forgotten, and it has highlighted the awful effects of violent crime on those who are left behind and the communities, which is why we go to the towns themselves.
Amelia, I understand you met your lovely partner doing a crime podcast.
I did,
Do you
yes.
explain
I
how-
mean, an unusual way of meeting your partner. But we were talking about a documentary that he has made called American Murder Family Next Door. And we were talking about that. And I was interviewing him, and we got talking about taking our dogs for walks, and he said, do you want to go on a dog walk, and or you could come rowing on the river. And I thought, what?
Definitely the dog walk.
And I just had a hernia operation as well, so I was like, I really don't want to go rowing. Anyway, I thought it was like professional rowing, but I then discovered it wasn't that. It was on a dinghy on the river.
Right.
Very nice indeed.
And then you fell in love, as they say.
Aw.
And is that, because I was reading about this thing, you were both divorcees and had kind of both gone, oh, well, that probably won't happen for us again. And then here you are, madly in love.
Well, it was totally unexpected. And of course, I think one hopes that you might meet the right person, but I'd sort of come to a point in my life. I was, working. I've got a little girl who's 11, Rose. And so I was sort of juggling that, trying to balance that, and then was so not expecting someone to come into my life who has been life-changing and life-enhancing. And that is a wonderful discovery. And we bring our life experiences, which has been a joy.
Speaking of experiences, just quickly, your family's a whole dynasty in itself. That must have been really nice, and growing up with all those influences. Is that what led you to do what you're doing?
Well, funnily enough, actually, I really wanted to avoid doing what everyone else was doing very well. And I thought, I'll never live up to that, so I won't do that. And my mum and dad were, encouraged me with going to university as a sort of insurance policy for anything else. And then I got a job while I was at university acting, and I got the bug for it. And then they said, no, you've got to stay at university. And then I got a job as soon as I left. And then, it's infectious. You fall in love with a job.
You proved them all wrong.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, we've run out of time. It's always that happens, but come back anytime.
Thank
Amelia
you.
Fox, everybody. That is it for today. Tomorrow we'll be joined by presenter Sarah Kay, where she'll be bravely sharing how she's doing after her recent breast cancer diagnosis. It'll be lovely to talk to her. Until then, have a great afternoon. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.